Tammy Slaton's sudden cancellation sparks outpouring of support. A community rallies around a woman fighting for herself. Hello viewers, welcome back to my channel. For 1000 LB Sister latest news update, please subscribe to the channel and press the bell icon. I am the world of reality television, where drama often overshadows depth and spectacle trumps sincerity. Few stars have managed to carve out a space as raw, real, and relentlessly human as Tammy Slaton. One half of the inseparable, often tumultuous, always compelling duo on TLC's 1000 Pounds Sisters, Tammy has spent years inviting viewers into her most vulnerable moments, from tearful confrontations with her sister Amy to triumphant milestones in her weight loss journey following gastric bypass surgery. But in recent days, the unexpected announcement that Tammy has abruptly canceled all upcoming public appearances has sent shockwaves through her devoted fanbase, not because of the cancellations themselves, but because of what they silently imply. Tammy is struggling, and she's choosing to prioritize herself. There was no press release dripping with PR polish. No cryptic social media post hinting at personal reasons. Just a quiet, unceremonious removal of scheduled meet and greets, podcast tapings, and convention panels from her official calendar, followed by a brief, heartfelt message shared by her team. Tammy needs time. She's focusing on her health, physical, mental, and emotional. She thanks you for your love and asks for your patience and prayers. That was it. And yet, within hours, the internet erupted, not in gossip-fueled speculation or cruel commentary, but in a tidal wave of compassion. Fans flooded social media with messages of support. Hashtags like #WeLoveYouTammy and #TammyTakeYourTime trended. Strangers shared their own stories of battling depression, chronic illness, body image struggles, and the crushing weight of public expectation. What could have been a moment of tabloid fodder instead became a collective embrace, a digital vigil of empathy for a woman who, despite her larger-than-life persona, is still very much human. Tammy Slaton has never pretended to be perfect. From the earliest episodes of 1000 Pounds Sisters, viewers watched as she navigated life at over 600 pounds, struggling to walk, to bathe, to fit through doorways while simultaneously wrestling with food addiction, low self-worth, and the suffocating pressure of being constantly compared to her more mobile, more successful sister, Amy. The show didn't sanitize her pain. It didn't edit out her tears or her tantrums. It showed her at her most defeated, lying on the couch, binge eating, sobbing into the camera, and also at her most determined, waddling down a hallway with a walker, proudly showing off a 5-pound weight loss, beaming after her first post-surgery meal. That authenticity is what made Tammy a beacon for so many. People didn't just watch Tammy, they saw themselves in her. The woman who felt trapped in her own body. The person who turned to food for comfort because the world felt too heavy to carry alone. The sibling who felt perpetually less than. The individual who kept trying, even when failure felt inevitable. And now, as she steps back from the spotlight, perhaps the most vulnerable move she's ever made, her fans are refusing to let her feel alone. The cancellations reportedly began last Tuesday. A scheduled appearance at a fan convention in Nashville was the first to disappear from Tammy's website. Then a podcast interview with a popular body-positive influencer. Then a meet and greet in Cincinnati. By Friday, her entire May calendar was blank. Rumors, of course, began to swirl. Was she hospitalized? Had she relapsed? Was there trouble with Amy? Was this another fallout from her rocky romantic history? But Tammy's management team and Amy, who posted a rare supportive message on Instagram, shut down speculation swiftly. She's safe. She's home. She's surrounded by love. She just needs space. That space, fans are realizing, is sacred. In a culture that demands constant productivity, visibility, and performance, especially from women, especially from plus-sized women, especially from reality stars, Tammy's decision to disappear is radical. It's a quiet rebellion against the machinery that turns personal pain into entertainment. It's a refusal to be on when she's not okay. It's a declaration that her well-being matters more than ticket sales, more than ratings, more than public curiosity. And her fans, they're honoring that. One particularly viral post came from a mother in Oklahoma who wrote, "Tammy taught me it's okay to be a work in progress. I used to hide my body, I used to hate myself for not being fixed yet. But watching her the good days, the bad days, the messy middle gave me permission to breathe. Now it's our turn to give her that same grace. Another fan, a man in his 50s recovering from bariatric surgery himself, shared a photo of his own walker next to a screenshot of Tammy's first steps post-op. She gave me courage when I had none, he wrote. Now I'm sending every ounce of strength I have back to her. Even celebrities weighed in. Lizzo posted a simple message. Rest, Queen. We got you. Comedian Fortune Feimster, known for her own body-positive advocacy, wrote, Tammy Slaton is one of the bravest people on television. Sometimes the bravest thing you can do is say, I can't today. We see you. We honor you. Behind the scenes, those close to Tammy say this isn't a crisis, not in the catastrophic sense. But it is a reckoning. Sources close to the production of 1,000 Pound Sisters reveal that Tammy has been battling severe emotional exhaustion for months. The pressure to maintain her weight loss. She's lost over 200 pounds since her surgery. The scrutiny over every fluctuation on the scale. The invasive comments about her appearance. The relentless pace of filming, public appearances, and social media obligations, it all began to take its toll. Tammy gives everything she has to her fans. One insider shared. She reads every message. She remembers names. She cries when she hears someone says she inspired them to seek help. But she's been running on empty. Her team noticed she was withdrawing, canceling Zoom calls, skipping meals, sleeping 14 hours a day. This wasn't laziness. This was burnout.
And depression.
And grief. Grief, a word rarely associated with Tammy's storyline, but one that quietly lingers beneath the surface. Tammy has lost relationships. She's lost versions of herself. She's lost the comfort of old habits, even the destructive ones that once numbed her pain. She's lost privacy. She's lost anonymity. And perhaps most painfully, she's still grieving the loss of the life she thought she'd have by now, the one where she's effortlessly mobile, romantically fulfilled, financially stable, and free from the judgmental gaze of millions. Reality TV doesn't show the aftermath of transformation. It shows the dramatic before and the triumphant after.
But
Tammy is living in the messy, painful, beautiful, confusing in-between, and it's exhausting. She's not failing, the insider continued. She's healing. And healing isn't linear. Sometimes it means canceling everything and lying in bed for 3 days. Sometimes it means turning off your phone and crying into a bowl of cereal. Sometimes it means saying no when the whole world is screaming yes, yes, yes. What's perhaps most remarkable about this moment is not Tammy's retreat, but the response it's elicited. In an era when cancel culture reigns and internet mobs form at the slightest misstep, Tammy's disappearance has been met not with outrage, but with reverence. Fans aren't demanding explanations. They aren't dissecting her motives. They aren't turning her pain into memes. Instead, they're lighting virtual candles. They're sharing playlists of comforting songs. They're posting photos of weighted blankets and cups of tea with captions like "This is for you, Tammy." They're organizing donation drives for mental health nonprofits in her name. They're writing letters, real, handwritten letters, and mailing them to her P.O. box, filled with messages of love, not expectation. It's as if Tammy's vulnerability has given her fans permission to be vulnerable too. One Reddit thread titled "Tammy's Break Made Me Realize I Need One Too" has over 10,000 comments. Users share stories of quitting jobs, ending toxic relationships, starting therapy, taking medical leaves, all inspired by Tammy's quiet courage to step away. She didn't make a grand speech, wrote one user. She didn't justify herself. She just stopped. And that gave me permission to stop too. I canceled my work trip today. I'm gonna sleep. I'm gonna cry. I'm gonna heal. Thank you, Tammy, another wrote. We spend so much time cheering for her wins. Today, I'm cheering for her rest. Amy Slaton, often portrayed as Tammy's foil, the responsible one, the together one, has also stepped into a new role, protector. In a tearful Instagram video posted Friday night, Amy holding her toddler son, Gertie spoke directly to the camera. Y'all know me and Tammy, we fuss, we fight, we make up. But right now I'm not her sister on TV. I'm her sister in real life. And my job is to make sure she knows she's loved. that she's enough, that she doesn't have to perform, that she can just be. Amy went on to thank fans for their kindness, asked for privacy, and ended with a simple, powerful statement. She's gonna be okay. And when she's ready, we'll be here arms open, no questions asked. It was perhaps the most unscripted, unfiltered moment the Slaton sisters have ever shared, and it resonated deeply. Fans noted the absence of snark, of sarcasm, of the Amy versus Tammy dynamic the show often leans into. This was pure, unguarded love. And it was a reminder that beneath the ratings-driven drama, these are two women who have survived childhood trauma, poverty, public ridicule, and their own internal battles together. Amy's message also subtly shifted the narrative. This isn't a Tammy problem. This is a human problem. And it's one that requires community, not criticism. Tammy's journey both on-screen and off has always been about more than weight. It's about worth. It's about visibility. It's about the right to take up space physically, emotionally, socially without apology. By canceling her appearances, Tammy is still taking up space. She's saying, my pain matters. My rest matters. My silence matters. And her fans? They're echoing back. You matter, in a world that often reduces plus-sized women to punchlines or inspiration porn. Tammy has refused to be either. She is complex. She is contradictory. She is joyful and depressed, determined and defeated, hilarious and heartbroken, sometimes all in the same hour. And that's what makes her real. Her cancellations aren't a sign of weakness. They're an act of self-preservation, a boundary, a declaration that she will no longer sacrifice her peace for public consumption. And perhaps most importantly, they're a lesson. To her fans, it's okay to rest, to her critics. It's okay to be wrong about someone, to the industry. It's okay to let your talent breathe, to herself. It's okay to not be okay, as the days pass. The messages keep pouring in. Artwork appears, digital portraits of Tammy surrounded by flowers, angels, affirmations. Fan fiction writers pen gentle stories where Tammy is whisked away to a cabin in the woods where no one asks her to smile, to pose, to perform, where she can simply exist. Merchandise sellers quietly release Tammy's on Break t-shirts, with proceeds going to the National Alliance on Mental Illness, a GoFundMe for therapy animals for bariatric patients. Tammy once mentioned how much she missed having a dog. Explodes past its goal in under 24 hours. The Outpouring isn't about pity. It's about partnership. It's about recognizing that Tammy's story isn't hers alone. It belongs to every person who's ever felt too big, too broken, too much. And now, they're returning the gift she gave them. Unconditional support. There's no timeline for Tammy's return. No pressure. No countdown. Just an open door and an army of people holding it wide. When she's ready, whether that's in a week, a month, or a year, she'll be welcomed back, not as a spectacle, but as a sister. Not as a character, but as a human being who dared to say, I need to stop. And in doing so, she gave millions of others permission to do the same. Tammy Slaton didn't need to make a speech to start a movement. She just needed to be brave enough to disappear and trust that love would find her anyway. It has, and it will for as long as she needs it. Rest. Tammy will be here when you're ready. And until then, we've got you. Y'all have too much time. 1,000-pound sisters star Tammy Slaton shuts down silly rumors with single photo in the swirling vortex of celebrity gossip, reality TV drama, and social media speculation. Few stars have learned to navigate the noise quite like Tammy Slaton. The beloved co-star of TLC's hit docuseries 1,000-Pound Sisters has spent years in the public eye, not just as a woman battling extreme obesity and striving for health, but as a human being whose every move is dissected, celebrated, criticized, and often wildly misinterpreted. Recently, Tammy found herself once again at the center of online chatter, not because of a health scare, a relationship update, or even a new episode, but because of idle rumors that spiraled out of control. Her response is single, perfectly timed photo and 5 simple, sassy words. Y'all have too much time. It was a moment that encapsulated everything fans love about Tammy. her humor, her resilience, her no-nonsense attitude, and her uncanny ability to rise above the noise with grace and a touch of sass. But to understand the weight, pun intended, of that moment, we have to step back and look at the journey that brought her here. The rumors, the scrutiny, the pressure, and the power of a woman who refuses to be defined by anyone else's narrative. Tammy Slaton's story is not one of overnight fame. It's a story of struggle, survival, and slow, hard-won progress. Alongside her sister Amy, Tammy entered the public consciousness as part of 1,000 Pound Sisters, a TLC reality series that documents their lives as they confront morbid obesity, undergo weight loss surgeries, rebuild their relationships, and chase dreams they once thought impossible. The show, raw and unfiltered, quickly became a cultural phenomenon not because it sensationalized their size, but because it humanized them. Viewers didn't just see two sisters weighed down by hundreds of pounds. They saw two women weighed down by trauma, family dynamics, societal judgment, and internal battles that no scale could measure. Tammy, in particular, became a fan favorite. Her vulnerability, her humor, her love of sweets and pop culture, her emotional honesty, all of it made her relatable. People rooted for her. They cried with her. They celebrated her small victories. The first time she walked without a walker, the moment she fit into a smaller hospital gown, the day she stood on stage at her own wedding. But with that love came scrutiny. And with scrutiny came rumors. The internet, as we know, is a breeding ground for speculation. When you're a public figure, especially one whose body, health, and personal life are central to your public persona, every Instagram post, every missed episode, every unexplained absence becomes fodder for theories. Tammy, having undergone gastric bypass surgery, faced intense public interest in her weight loss journey. Fans tracked her progress obsessively. Some cheered her on. Others criticized her setbacks. And a vocal few invented stories out of thin air. The latest round of rumors began innocently enough. Tammy hadn't posted on social media for a few days, a rarity for someone who often shares daily updates with her 3.4 million Instagram followers. Then, a blurry photo surfaced on a gossip forum, allegedly showing Tammy, looking much bigger, exiting a restaurant. Within hours, the rumor mill kicked into overdrive. Did Tammy gain all the weight back? Is she off the show? Did her surgery fail? Is she secretly hospitalized? Is she pregnant? Yes. Someone actually floated the pregnancy theory despite Tammy being open about her inability to carry a child due to medical complications and her public desire to adopt. The theories ranged from plausible concern to outright absurdity. But in the echo chamber of social media, plausibility doesn't matter. What matters is engagement. And these rumors, fueled by speculation, ignorance, and sometimes malice, spread like wildfire. Tammy, to her credit, didn't panic. She didn't rush to defend herself. She didn't post a tearful video or issue a lengthy statement. She waited. And then, on a quiet Tuesday afternoon, she uploaded a single photo. It was a selfie. Tammy, smiling, hair freshly styled, wearing a bright pink top that hugged her frame. Behind her, the familiar backdrop of her living room. No filters. No dramatic angles. Just Tammy, as she is, confident, radiant, and very much okay. The caption? 5 words. "Y'all have too much time," that was it. No explanation. No confrontation. No validation of the rumors. Just a gentle, humorous, slightly exasperated reminder that the rumors weren't just false. They were a waste of everyone's energy. The internet, predictably, exploded in the best way. Fans flooded the comments with heart emojis, laughing emojis, and messages of support. "Queen behavior," one wrote. "The way she shuts it down with love," said another. "This is why we stan." Even celebrities and influencers jumped in. Comedian Lonnie Love reposted it with a caption, "The audacity of folks." Tammy said what we're all thinking. Body positive advocate Megan Jane Crabb wrote, "This is the energy we need in 2024. Boundaries with glitter." The post went viral within hours. Not because it was scandalous or shocking, but because it was refreshingly real. In a world where celebrities often feel pressured to over-explain, over-apologize, or overperform in response to rumors, Tammy's response was a masterclass in self-possession. She didn't owe anyone an explanation. She didn't need to prove her worth, her progress, or her current weight. She simply reminded everyone, "I'm here. I'm fine. And your gossip? It's silly." What made this moment so powerful wasn't just the shutdown, it was the symbolism behind it. For years, Tammy Slaton has been subjected to public commentary about her body. Strangers have weighed in on her food choices, her clothing, her relationships, her medical decisions. They've called her inspiring. They've called her a cautionary tale. They've fetishized her struggle and commodified her pain. And through it all, Tammy has remained remarkably open, sharing her highs and lows, her triumphs and relapses, not to satisfy public curiosity, but because she genuinely wants to help others who are struggling. But there's a difference between sharing your story and having your story hijacked. The rumors that prompted Tammy's post weren't just inaccurate, they were invasive. They assumed entitlement to her body, her time, her privacy. They treated her not as a person, but as a public exhibit. And Tammy's response was a quiet but firm reclaiming of her narrative. "You'll have too much time" isn't just a clapback. It's a boundary. It's a reminder that celebrities, even reality TV stars, are not public property. That their silence doesn't imply scandal. That their bodies are not open for public audit. That sometimes people just need a break from posting selfies. And that's okay. This moment also speaks to a broader cultural shift, one that Tammy, perhaps unintentionally, is helping to lead. We live in an age of